The SEC continues to protect U.S. citizens from making any money and protect its citizens from freedom itself. In just 24 hours, not only has Binance been sued by Gary G, but now Coinbase as well. And with all of this, Bitcoin continues to trade above 20,000 US dollars, making the chances for the sub 60 IQ bear's wet dream of a $10,000 Bitcoin seem completely insane. Right now, we have just received breaking news hours ago that, as we again were expecting because of the Wells notice weeks ago, that Coinbase is as well being sued by Gary G and the SEC. And this is big, as Bitcoin so far seems to absolutely not care, as it should not care, as you should not care, as the entire world should not care, because of one unelected tyrant that is paid by banks to try to spread fear and is insanely corrupt to try to destroy crypto. Who cares, right? Nobody cares. But we're going to jump into a few things in this video before we jump into the charts. And starting off with this, over the last year, we've seen the collapses of FTX. $2 trillion get erased from crypto during the bear market. Over 300 class action lawsuits in just the last year and a half. Collapses of regional banking systems, and now as well Binance and Coinbase, the two biggest exchanges in the world, being sued by the SEC. And crypto is still over $1 trillion in market cap. Truly, the resiliency of this market is insane. If we're not at the bear market bottom, which I believe we are, then how much lower can we go? This news would have brought Bitcoin to its knees 6+ months ago. And it's so important to highlight is that the SEC complaint doesn't mention this. But there is literally zero way, there's no way for Coinbase or any other platforms like Coinbase to register as securities, exchange, broker, or clearing agents. That's why they've been begging the SEC for years to give them a path to compliance. And yet Gary G was just on CNBC moments ago talking about how, again, still lying, saying that these companies are not even attempting to come in and file. Literally, these companies have been begging for a path forward for clarity. I mean, the amount of corruption from Gary Gensler and the SEC is insane. Complete corruption. It's so obvious. They're not even trying to hide it. It's completely mind-blowing to me. But also, I want to talk about this, is that Coinbase onboarded millions of people to Bitcoin early on, and many people became millionaires because of the access to Bitcoin that Coinbase gave them early on. Coinbase also helped onboard institutions such as MicroStrategy. And so it's very odd. Udi Wertheimer says here on Twitter, seeing laser-eyed maxis on Twitter cheering as the SEC tries to take down Coinbase. It's a huge problem, right? Coinbase, this is just huge hypocrisy. And I think this space, there's obviously a lot of scams, a lot of crap coins that are complete garbage that I think are horrible and bad for the space. But these Bitcoin maximalists that love the idea of everything being destroyed is the silliest thing I've ever seen. It's so dumb. It's so outright dumb. These people that want Coinbase, right? They want all of these things to be taken down and they don't see the writing on the wall that, next they will come for Bitcoin. If you think Gary is only coming for a couple of exchanges, you're completely out of your mind. And Kaleo actually talks about this as well. The SEC has declared full-blown war on crypto. If you don't think he's coming for Bitcoin eventually as well, you're blind. These people are there are people actually in this space, Bitcoin holders, that are cheering for Coinbase, Binance, right? Coinbase and Binance are not perfect at all. I'm not defending that they're perfect, but to be on the side of the SEC with all of the corruption that they have shown in just the last 2 years, you're not on the right side of this. But with that being said as well, Satoshi Flipper talking about no one's going to stop buying. Network activity is an all-time high, and it doesn't matter how many exchanges that the SEC sues. Nobody cares. That's kind of like the big thing here. In the last 24 hours, Binance sued, Coinbase sued, and I don't know if other people have caught this, but basically they're verifying that aliens do exist. We have their crafts, many of them. It's just kind of crazy. It's not really related to crypto. I think it's just insane though. A lot of breaking news in the last 24 hours. True government officials that were corroborated with the highest security clearances above top secret, basically saying yes and kind of confirming what a lot of people have believed for the past 80 years, ever since Roswell. so long ago. Anyway, at some point, though, this FUD will have zero impact on price, and maybe we're already seeing that. Binance and Coinbase sued and Bitcoin dropped like $1,000. Does anyone care? And they won't be able to stop 20+% daily candles. Halving is coming up. This is all just noise. Not to mention, guys, the SEC can sue whoever they want. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. Coinbase and Binance have massive amounts of capital. And keep in mind the SEC would never be able to do all of this if it wasn't for our taxpayer money and the unlimited funds they have, right? But most likely, all these will end in a settlement, probably multiple years from now, past way after the next bull run. It's all just noise. It doesn't really matter that much. And as I said, I think it's so bullish that the SEC is suing Coinbase less than 24 hours after suing Binance. It's almost like a joke. I woke up, I saw that, and I was like, sure, why not just add a couple more? Literally put every exchange. Who cares? It is like the boy who cried wolf. The more you do it, the less anyone cares and the less seriously anyone takes you as well. Nobody takes the SEC seriously at this point. They know they're overreaching. They know they're just kind of grasping at straws, throwing a bunch of baloney at the wall to see what sticks. And it's just a joke at this point, right? And the market will respond and show us, what the market thinks as well. But Ryan Selkis finally just saying here he doesn't respect the SEC under Gary Gensler. Will be fighting for the next 18 months to elect common sense politicians that will restore regular order to the regulatory state. The U.S. needs forward-thinking leaders, not incompetent and crooked cops on the beat. Guys, the amount of people that support crypto in the U.S. specifically is growing every single day. And this is only, igniting those people, making them more and more passionate and more angered by the corruption from the SEC and the government in general. And it will show in an election, which is coming up, as Ryan states, in the next 18 months. And I absolutely believe that, I think there are big changes that are going to be coming. But looking at Bitcoin on the daily chart, we're up a little bit today, actually. Nothing too exciting. Again, this dump, this is a dump you would expect kind of on any given day. It's not really that big of a dump. We talk about like gigantic fundamental dumps, for example, back here with FTX, right? What is this, like a 25, almost 30% candle? Bitcoin dropped like $6,000. Bitcoin has dropped less than a fourth of that on this news so far. FTX collapse was so far 4 times more impactful than the suing by the SEC of Coinbase and Binance. So I think the market is so far speaking for itself, especially after this not really bullish price action we've seen for the past 3 months. It's not like Bitcoin was doing really, really well in the last 3 months. We're just going sideways and kind of right on the edge. And we get this bombshell news, double lawsuit. And again, the price barely drops. I still expect it's extremely possible we go down. I'm surprised we're not at $23,000 right now. This market is so much stronger than I think most people thought it was. If you would have told me a week ago that Coinbase and Binance were about to be sued in the same 24-hour period, I would have told you, oh, for sure, then we're at least going to 23, maybe even all the way down to 20K. And we haven't so far. We still could, but this price action is speaking for itself at this point. Does anyone really care? And that's another big thing too, is that the SEC can only sue Binance and Coinbase a certain amount of times. Once they play all of their cards, once they throw out as much enforcement as they can, they're powerless. Then they're just in these lawsuits for probably the next year, 2, 3 years. They're still losing their XRP lawsuit they've been in for the past few years. It's not looking great. If I was on the SEC side, after playing all these cards over the last 24 hours, I'd think okay, well, I hope one of them wins. But they really have to hope that some of this stuff sticks but that's also the thing too. It doesn't, even if the SEC would win every single lawsuit that they've put out in the US, Bitcoin, crypto is not limited to the US. The US is not the center of the world, and it's not the center of crypto. And if the US truly decides to just completely kick crypto out of the US, that's fine. Crypto will still be fine. The ones that will suffer are the investors in the US and the US as a whole. They will get left behind, and simply put, they won't make the money and won't be involved in the innovation that will happen in the crypto space over the next couple of decades. And take advantage of massive trading bonuses if you're interested in longing or shorting this market with BitGet and Femex below. Specifically, earn massive deposit and sign up bonuses if you sign up with my links to Femex and BitGet in the description below. Without any further ado, it's for me.